Beautiful music. I know it's morning, you would have loved to listen to that in the evening, but hey, it's a morning brief right here on Channels Television. Let's bring in the guy you saw in that particular video. His name is B. Johnson. He's a state, that's a brand.
Thompson.
Oh, my apologies. B. Thompson.
Thompson. It's like the H is silent. Thompson.
Okay. An American saxophonist, multi-instrumentalist, and performer from Indianapolis, Indiana, and of course based in LA. Welcome to, say this is your second time of being in Nigeria.
Yeah, my second time in Nigeria.
Saxophone, I love that instrument. I have a friend who plays the saxophone.
Nice.
At least I prefer it to the trumpet because I felt like the trumpet stresses on it so much.
I tried trumpet. It didn't work out too well, but...
Why did you choose the saxophone?
You know, I've always said that I think the sax chose me, you know, because there's many instruments I could have been playing when I was a kid, and when I was 9 years old, once I came across that instrument, I just stuck with it for the past 19 years.
What's the difference, by the way, between sax and the trumpet?
Oh, well, quite a few differences, you know. So the saxophone technically is considered a woodwind instrument, even though it's also made of brass, and then the trumpet is considered a brass instrument because the mouthpiece is made of brass, but the saxophone uses a piece of wood to create the sound, so they're just musical terminologies, but I like the sax. I think it sounds more like a human voice.
Oh.
So you've been playing since you were 9?
Yes.
This particular instrument?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So how did, just walk us through your history, because I'm seeing the list of the people you perform with. These are not ordinary names in the industry globally.
Yeah.
So talk to us how you got involved in playing the saxophone.
You know, I don't even know how I got to this point. When I think about it, you know, I think everything just kind of snowballed. You know, I grew up playing music in the church, and I was singing, and you know, at the time, and 3, 4, 5 years old. And then as I got older, you know, my parents, you know, my family just exposed me to a lot of different music. So I would listen to a lot of different music, you know, so R&B, pop, you know, and then jazz was one of those genres as well. So eventually, you know, I say kids are sponges. They soak up everything that, you know, they just got here. So this new world that they're experiencing new things. So, you know, 7, 8, you know, 9 years old, I'm listening to jazz music, and I'm like, well, what is this instrument that is the primary instrument that I hear in jazz? And, you know, they were like, well, that's the saxophone. And, you know, as a kid, I'm like, well, I want to play the sax then. I like this music. And then, you know, eventually I got my first saxophone when I was 9 years old, and was practicing, and like after like the first 6 to 7 months, I think I got my first gig. You know, I did a talent show.
That was not long at all.
No, I was, you know, I have a bit of ADHD where I kind of zone in on one thing obsessively. So once I picked it up and I realized that I liked it, I would do my homework on the bus so I could go home and practice for like 4 or 5 hours a day, like nonstop. So, and I still love it just as much.
That's some love, really. That's passion there.
For sure.
I'm reading about you, and besides the ADHD, you play in your right ear, am I correct?
I have hearing loss in my right ear. I have what's called sensory neural hearing loss in my
And you still play so excellently.
You know, by the time I was diagnosed, I had already was well into, you know, playing. I think I was, you know, playing music for years and years and years. But before then, and I never even realized it. It more so hindered me in more social, you know, communicative settings, but not in music. You know, so a lot of times people talk to me, and they think I'm ignoring them, and I'm just like, oh wait, you're talking to me. But if it's music, I can hear it. It cuts through.
So where does your sound come from? You know, if that disability doesn't affect you in any way, where do you hear your sound? Talk to us about your creative process.
So I got a lot of influence from a lot of, you know, old contemporary saxophonists as far as my sound on the saxophone, and some new saxophonists, you know, so a lot of people are familiar with, you know, people like Kenny G, and, you know, I grew up listening to Dave Koz, David Sanborn, Boney James, so those are the more current guys, you know, that kind of popularized the saxophone. And then, you know, later on in my years, I was listening to a lot of older cats, you know, Cannonball, John Coltrane, Charlie Parker, you know, Art Porter, just a lot of older saxophones, Sonny Rollins, and that's where I kind of learned the respect and the history behind jazz rather than just the popularity of it. And I think all those just the amalgamation of all of that is just what kind of made me what I am today. You know, and I'm still developing and finding myself to this moment. You know, I don't think I've broken out yet or have made it. To what by normal standards people would consider made it. You know, maybe to some, but to myself, I'm like, well, I got to keep going. There's still more to
but you
achieve.
played with Babyface, you played with Tony Braxton. You know, some back here would consider that you're at the top already. So what would success be if you played with those category of artists and you think you're still not there?
You know, I would say that, you know, working with those people, that's success by association, you know, because
I like that.
I've played for almost everybody, and you know, I think that, you know, while I would love to continue to collaborate with them and more people in the future, you know, when I'm not with them, I try to focus on what am I doing. You know, I would love for people to be excited to work with me. You know,
so if I understand you very well, you want your own unique sound, just like we have the Kenny G's and all of those guys. That sounds we hear just, oh, this is Kenny, and all of that.
Kind of the household name for the world in saxophonists, but you know, and so it's easy for a lot of musicians to be inspired by the one thing, or if there's not many other examples for them to be inspired by. So it's almost kind of the standard, you know, amongst modern saxophonists that have been inspired by Kenny G.
As we wind down, there's something that keeps resonating, just ringing in my mind, and that has to do with how much space there is for calm music in a very noisy world.
It does exist. You know, people ask me what songs I listen to on a regular sometimes, and I actually don't listen to a lot of songs that have like words in it. I spend a lot of time listening to like lo-fi or songs that don't have words in them, just, you know, instrumental, you know, backing music, you know, or mood music, as people would say. And the reason why I like that is because it kind of hits the brain differently, you know, so I kind of look at instrumental music that way. Maybe I don't need music that I can participate in. I need music that is assisting me, you know, in my daily endeavors. You throw on music while you're getting ready, and it's different for everybody, you know. Some people like to sing their favorite.
So this suits your personality.
Yeah.
Does it feel lonely? You know, because majority of the world want to sing along to a certain music. They have a certain, you know, musician that they identify with. Does your class feel lonely?
Yeah, it can be, because it's a little limited. You know, jazz is, or even smooth jazz, even in a way, is not a. It's very minimal compared to other genres of music, you know, that have way more listeners and more involvement. So I think that there's a responsibility to expose people to other forms of music, and you know, so sometimes I will play jazz when I'm with my friends rather than just playing popular music. And I think that people don't know what they might be interested in because they haven't been exposed to it.
I love jazz, by the way. It's beautiful, beautiful music any time in the day. Jazz music, orchestra generally is beautiful. It's very soothing. I don't know whether it comes with age. When you were younger, you just want to listen to crazy stuff. I used to get older, I want a bit of a more quieter world so that you can navigate. But talk to us, you're in Nigeria. What brought you here? And how many Nigerian musicians have you met, maybe within your genre, or generally the artists, the creative space?
Well, so I'm actually here for the TAF event, AfriTrade Entrepreneur Festival that they have. So that's been exciting to participate in that.
The one that the
Secretary of Transportation for California is also attending.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Connected with him as well.
Yes.
Yeah. So we did a gala yesterday, and we played for which was so nice, and which actually brings me to answering your second question, which was Nigerian musicians. So I met some Nigerian musicians yesterday for the first time, about 7 of them, and we had never met before. Surprisingly, a few of them knew who I was, which I always think it's an honor if people know who I am, because I don't know how far my name has gotten in the world, but you know, I'm grateful for that, and I got a chance to play with them for the first time, and you would have thought you all been playing together for years. So the chemistry is just unmatched.
Can you remember any names?
Yeah, so actually I was go down all the names. It was Siwa, Best, Chulu, Snappy, and Top Keys. Were all the musicians. They all play drums, keys, bass, guitar, and they were just incredible. And Eugene, yes.
And finally, what are you working on currently? A musical project?
Yeah, so I'm working on some things, actually here in the continent. with some African producers and artists, which will be coming soon. And then, of course, I'm always doing a lot of work in the United States. So the goal is just to really put out more original content and more of my own music and show people more of my own creative creations.
Thompson. How would you prefer to be called? What I have is B. Thompson, but you prefer to be called Thompson.
Thompson.
All right.
Like with a T. So it's actually not pronounced Thompson.
Oh,
so
Thompson.
the H is silent. So imagine it's spelled T-O-M.
You have to say that over and over again.
No, sorry, I know. I mean, the dialect here, so people been saying it. And I think it's funny, you know.
Yeah.
But I've gotten all kinds of different names, you know. I go by B. Thompson because I've gotten Brain, B-R-A-I-N. I've gotten B-R-I-A-N. My name is B-R-Y-A-N. So I just call it B. Thompson. Keep it simple.
Save us the stress.
Yeah.
American saxophonist, multi-instrumentalist and performer who lives and does business in LA. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.